Hello, good morning, or as we well know, afternoon and evening from all around the world. Today's special guest for Tech Talk Live, we have Anna Wesolowska.
Wesolowska.
Wesolowska. I will never say it as beautiful and as elegant as what you just did. Oh my goodness. Well, good morning, Anna. Thanks so much for joining in with us on Tech Talk Live.
Thank you so much for having me, Amy, here.
So you came highly, highly recommended and suggested to me as a special guest. And so I was excited about that because to be able to connect us with our mentors and with our inspirations, whether it's through nail art or any part of our life, there's a connection there that is unparalleled. And so be able to join you as well and connect you with some of the other people that say, please, please, please get Anna as a guest. We're going to be able to do that today. So thanks for your time.
Well, thank you so much. I didn't expect that there was some request to have
There.
me. It's exciting.
I'm going to connect my phone here really fast too to make sure that we are able to get comments. Oh, and now my battery wants to go low. So I apologize. I'm going to leave you all alone for just a moment. So while I'm gone though, one thing that we always want to know is how did you get started in the nail industry? What was your inspiration when you started as well? So I'll be right back.
Okay, so I can speak in the meantime.
Yes, yes, please do.
Okay. So I started in the nail industry actually by accident because I was finishing my high school and I didn't really know what to do next. And we went with our school to the like a trade show for universities. And there, by accident, I have been handed a business card of the beauty school. And so this was like the illumination, and I decided to go this way. I understood that this is my thing. So I went to this school. It was an amazing school. It was a private school with amazing teachers at 2 years, and we didn't do nails there. We were just doing traditional, facials and body and anatomy, chemistry, just a simple manicure. Nothing about acrylic, nothing about gel at all. I didn't know about the existence of those things.
Yeah.
But when I was finishing my school, actually, my dad knew people that were opening a nail salon in Gran Canaria in Spain, in one of the Canary Islands. And they were searching for people that would like to go and work there for them. And so I was very young, I was 20, and I didn't have family, and I just was finishing the school. So I was like a perfect person to go and lead this adventure. And I did that, but they told me that you have to know how to make acrylic nails because this is our job there. So I went to do a course at this time with the very famous company that was in my city in Poland. And since that course, I understood, wow, this is amazing. I want to do that. And then my friend that I was there with on Gran Canaria was, like teaching me. I was learning to do more on clients, unfortunately. And so I lived in Gran Canaria for 1 year and a half about, and working in this salon, working with clients, and then received a proposition to go to Rome to work for Italian company Clarissa Nails. So we said, yeah, let's do that. We were a bit tired of Gran Canaria already a little bit, and we decided that might be a nice adventure. So we went there, and this when it happened, all the rest, because working for a company, like having a back behind you, that was really opening for all the opportunities. Because then we didn't really work in Rome. We didn't like to be there, so we went to work for their like people that they knew in Sicily. So I stayed in Sicily for 6 years, and while this, we were going to the company when they were organizing courses with famous people from all over the world. They were inviting people from US. They were inviting people from Ukraine, all the different nail technicians that we could learn from. So that was very, very important in my career, that allowed me to grow and fell in love more and more with this work. Because in the beginning I was working just in the salon, but later when the collaboration with the company was evolving, later they started sending us to teach courses and making beauty trade shows. So later, after 6 years living in Palermo, I fell in love with Milan by accident. So I lived in Milan for 3 years, I think. And then in the end, I lived in Rome for, I think, 2 years before moving here. So for 12 years, I was working with the same company. I was very, how you call it?
Dedicated.
Yes, dedicated. But in the meantime, when I was living in Italy, we invited an amazing nail technician, Anthony Buckley. He was working for AII at this time, and he came just to teach us for Super Nail, one of their brands. And he told us, "Why don't you guys go and do competitions?" I was like, "What?" We didn't know about that anything. So he said, "Yeah, I can come, I think, to teach you." I think the next time he came to teach us for the competition. So we said, "Okay, let's do that." And we went to London for the Olympics that
Mhm.
still. So we just went, for experience. We were like little, girls skirt in this big world. And there were all these amazing people from all over the world coming to compete. And so that time I managed, with all, totally surprised, I managed to take first place in acrylic sculpture, first place, I think, in gel sculpture, and some, or maybe tip, I don't remember, but like two first places in the first division. So for the people that were participating for the first time. And this like gave me the energy to go the next time, and my company was super excited about that. So they started investing in me, and we knew about Lisa Comfort. We knew about the Lisa Comfort. She was very famous at the time. Also, already she was famous from what I remember, but we knew about her as the Queen of Electric File, and as a person that, in fact, is very deep into the competitions and prepares people for competitions. So my company that I was working for invited Lisa Comfort to come to Rome and prepare our team to compete, to make another training. So this is how I met Lisa, because with Lisa I'm working now, so that's why it's connected. And so this is how I met Lisa for the first time. And that was amazing. She opened our eyes to many things, and she opened eyes for how many things we were doing wrong, like damage of the natural nail, etc. And so we went again for the competition. Again, I took some places. I took some trophy. I think it was stiletto, and then after, I think, maybe 2 years or something like this, Lisa was doing a first course that was happening in Bologna in Italy for judges. She opened this association for international nail judges. So we said with my colleagues, "Yeah, let's do that. That's exciting. That's another step after all the competitions," because we were competing for a few years and had some trophies. And so that was like a natural way, forward. And we did it. And so I was in the first group of India. And this was the big group. It was like 50 people from around the world that came. And so we were getting more, we were like getting to know each other more with Lisa. And then after a while, when I was living in Milan, something happened that we wrote with Lisa to each other. I wrote, I think, and because I had a boyfriend in Los Angeles, and I wrote to Lisa, "Yeah, I have a boyfriend in Los Angeles now," because I knew that Lisa works in Los Angeles. lives in Los Angeles. So she said, "Oh my God, that's amazing! Why don't you come and work with me?" And I said, "Wow, that's really cool. Yeah, let's do that." So since then, it's all started, and we started working on getting my documents, etc. So this all worked amazing, and I would never think of moving to US if not all that, if not meeting Lisa, if not meeting my boyfriend, and I'm very happy for this experience. That's really amazing.
Oh
Um,
my goodness. And, we've learned along the way we get so many opportunities, but sometimes our nerves get us and they don't allow us to move on. And so I tell people all the time, before you stop and think about it, just say yes, because you can always change your mind. But if you say yes, you have a little bit more commitment to it, and then you can do the freak out.
yeah, yeah. Well, I never was afraid to move, from place to place and take new opportunities. I really enjoyed it. I think when you're young, you have less fear to accept new opportunities. So every few years I was thinking like, oh, I have to move somewhere else. I need some new place. Like after 6 years of living in Palermo in Sicily, I was like, oh, I need some new place. I just didn't know where. So, I think everything in my life always happened by accident. Like moving to Milan also happened by total accident because my boss told me that we have to go. We have been invited by a nail magazine in Italy to make a photo shoot for them in Milan, in Chinatown. In Chinatown in Milan is very beautiful. So this was my first time actually in Milan going there, and she had apartment there in a beautiful area. So I went there for this 1 day and a half, and I was totally in love with Milan. I said, "Oh my!" I was coming back with the plane to Sicily, and I knew I'm gonna move to Milan. So that was just, everything just, maybe just like happens with the
Uh, Living the dream and just saying yes and just I'm going to do this. So,
yeah,
sometimes we say yes and it's not exactly what we expect or whatnot, but you don't know till you try. And it
yeah,
sounds like your whole career has kind of been that way. Your whole life is like, okay, I'm just going to try this. I'm going to put
yeah.
it out there. I'm going to try this. And now look where you are. You're inspiring so many others to want to follow in your footsteps, especially to Milan.
Yeah, that's true. I was very lucky in that. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So now that you're do international judging, and so you did become a certified judge, do you still do competitions or does that kind of allow you to not do them?
Well, since I became a part of India, I didn't compete till last Nail Pro in Sacramento. So this been like, oh my God, I think 4 years, something like that, since I haven't competed. So this happened by pure accident because Lisa was doing lives and she was showing how to make the competition nail. And me, I was being a model for her for the video. And after we were finishing, I was just like, wow, I miss that. Maybe I just should try and do it on myself. So I did it on myself, just for fun, just to practice. And I said, oh, that's cool, actually. I still remember something. So I decided to, just throw myself into it and try. So that was exciting. So that made me want to try again. I
Mhm.
want to compete again. It's fun. I love competing. It just gives you always something new to learn and that emotion. It's really fun. And when you know all the people that are competing around you, it's just very nice experience.
You
So
do create a family around you of other nail techs. And even though you're competing against them, you still want to see them succeed and do so well. And so it does, it creates this network and family, and you get excited when you know that they're going to be at the next competition. And
yeah,
yeah, I agree.
yeah.
However, I don't know how you get the nerves up to compete. I've competed before, and I haven't competed in many years. Maybe I would feel different about it now because at the time it was so stressful, and I was always taking my team with me, all of my salon girls, all of our models traveled with us, and it was just so overwhelming all the time. And I'm a mama, so I'm the one that wants to make sure everybody has eaten, everybody has food. Did you remember everything? And so my list is a mental too much list. And so
Yeah.
um, I have not competed in many years. I don't know that I have the strength to be able to do that, but I admire everybody that does. Every time, like I just saw an award show just this last week, where Scarlett Center was being awarded and, all of this kind of stuff. And I thought, God, I want to be on that stage at some point in time. I just want to try that. So the bug is still there. So what would be advice from you of if you've never competed before, do you think that they should get a team and take a course online or something for competition or just go for it?
Well, I think personally that going to the competition without any preparation, it's not a good idea because you have all those little tips and all those informations that you should know. I don't know about online course, how much you can be prepared from the online course for the competition. So I think the traditional group course is the best because, for example, Lisa Comfort is the like she's specialized in preparation for competition champions. So doing a course with her, because this was the last course that I did with her those few years ago when she came to Rome, and then I'm so lucky to work with her.
Yes.
So every time, I have to make her there. Maybe we do nails to each other, or when I was the model, every time I can see her working and learn from her so much. So, so doing the course with someone like this, it's really priceless. It can open you so much eyes and make you understand those little things that are fundamental for the competition.
Mhm.
So definitely the course, group course.
And get a
We will be
team.
actually working because Lisa is working so much in Europe and in Asia and in South America, and I'm telling Lisa like we should make something here. Like you should teach people here. People need you here. So we
Yeah.
are trying to organize something with Lisa here in US,
Yeah.
so she can share her knowledge. And actually, this is why we're going also to Massachusetts to Danalin, to the
Mhm.
show. Lisa will be teaching her the class. I will be teaching the class as well. And we will be on the show on Sunday. So Lisa will be there, to share her knowledge. And she's amazing. She just gives her knowledge just like this for everyone that needs it. So she's not the kind of the teacher, and me neither. That we keep the information for ourselves and just share it to it. So that's awesome. So
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. One of the things that you mentioned earlier is, online we can absorb and we can rewatch and rewatch and rewatch and practice. But sometimes it's just an angle of a brush that we don't realize. We think we're holding it like what they are. But when you're in person and you're helping to educate, just one little tweak that in person that they can see or the angle that like me, I cross my legs all day long. And so I'm always sitting at a side angle that sometimes I have to stop, uncross my legs, sit straight on with the client to do the exact shaping. And sometimes we don't realize that until somebody else can point it out. So being in person, you can definitely get a little bit more of those pointers. However, we know not everybody can travel, which is another reason why you offer online training, which is amazing.
I started doing that. Because I've seen like for the some courses I don't teach in the group. Like for example, those are like more seasonal courses.
Mhm.
Like last year it was Christmas course. This time I did some skulls. Because I fell in love with skulls for Halloween time, and so some courses that I know that I won't be teaching so much in the group because maybe we don't manage to get such so much people for that location. I decided to propose the online courses also because of the reason that you're saying that so many people can't travel, and I have so many people writing from either South America or other continents. So this gives opportunity to everyone to participate. And I think the world is changing so much that it will be a future, unfortunately.
Yes, I had to get on the bandwagon as well. I've traveled and taught in my area, but then I was needing to have more expense in the traveling, which means the courses got a little bit higher. And then you needed kind of a minimum amount of people to show up to even cover that expense. And then you have food and family, and it just was difficult to accommodate everybody's schedules. You'd have it set, and then somebody would say, "Oh my gosh, could you just come 1 week later?" Well, 1 week later, the flights are double, then you can't offer it for that price. And so I started teaching online workshops 2 years ago now, And I agree with you. It's been a blessing. I actually very much enjoy it. It's still personalized, not as much as in person, but what I like is that we can keep the costs low. Like I just looked up one of your courses. I think it was the skull one for Halloween. You learned three designs and it was $55 US dollars. And that's nothing. People charge that just to do the art on one client sometimes. And
Yeah.
so if nothing, if you charge $10 for nail art, which you guys you guys have heard me speech over and over and over again about charging for your time, charging for what you're worth, but you would still have your money back with just doing a couple of clients. And so keeping the prices like that's very, very nice. And so I think it's amazing what you're doing online. And I've checked out your websites and all that because you kept coming to me so highly recommended. And so I'm excited to see where you're going. And you're right, if we don't try it, we don't know the possibilities of where we can help others grow and what kind of a mentor we can be. And so, with you offering the online courses, have you noticed that your following is just a little bit different than it was before?
Mm, um, I think I have always similar group of followers that I see liking my posts and following my courses. Um, but yeah, definitely, I think it depends from the course to course. Some people get more interested into flowers. Some people get interested more to some, other more particular stuff. But yeah,
Yeah. The reason why I asked that is because beforehand, my following was only people around my state that I'd actually met. And
mm,
going online, I have an international following. And what was even funnier about that is I've asked so many of them, like, what made you I want to know what made you trust in me online that you decided to invest into that course because I want to continue to do that. I want to do it right. I'm real. I share every bit of my knowledge. I don't share just that little bit.
mm.
And they said, you know what, Amy, it was your accent.
Oh,
It had nothing to do with the course. It was that I was willing to go live, offered low cost. And so I have this following that's international that I would never have had before. And
oh,
so, it changed things.
right. Well, maybe I didn't notice it because before I started doing online courses, already had from different continents people. So today it's so difficult with Facebook because you have practically connection to all over the world. So it's yeah, and especially since I'm European, so I'm connected between those two worlds a little bit more. Um, so yeah, that's definitely Facebook is something amazing that allows us to so much more to spread the
Yeah.
about the nails and knowledge and about ourselves. I can't imagine how would be our work as educators without the Facebook actually or Instagram.
So
So
true.
yeah, very
Yeah.
big difference. Yeah.
Or even for inspiration. I mean, even before this, we got on social medias through like Pinterest, a nail art gallery. And oh my gosh, I remember beauty tech. And it was the chat rooms, and we would get on there and share like this is how I did this design. And it's absolutely amazing. I love that I've taken the challenge, just like you did today, to be able to do more of the social media online and get more acquainted with how to connect online. And so it's amazing what we can do. That's the only reason why we can do these interview shows is because exactly that technology.
Yeah, exactly. Like when I started, and for most of people that work more than 15 years, I work now. I think 15 years with nails. So when I was starting, at least in Poland, everything was very limited in the nail world. When I bought my first color powder, I was so excited that oh my god, I can now do a flower, and most of like people were doing just acrylic flowers, and it was already amazing. And then I was lucky because I saw while I was living in Italy, saw this like progress slowly of the nail art. And as we are saying before, we didn't have YouTube so much, the videos, not like today that you can watch YouTube videos about nail art for entire days or Facebook, and you couldn't find anything actually. So courses were the only way how you could learn something new. So when we are starting having those teachers coming from Ukraine or from Russia that till today are one of the best in the world, and they started teaching us, oh, you can use actually acrylic paint on the nails. We're like, oh wow. So we started doing one stroke, and then you can use watercolor paints. Okay, awesome. And then you have this kind of gels and these techniques, and you can mix all together. It's like, wow, that was amazing. So today people from one side have much easier than we had before, because they have like all this possibility to follow all these amazing nail artists without leaving even the home, and learn from videos. From the other side, I think it might be sometimes overwhelming, because there are so many techniques today that, like, oh my God, what I'm going to start from? There's so many. So yeah, it's like pros and cons.
And then with that, and the way the technology is, so for instance, we had airbrushing years ago. You'd put a top coat on there and it would wear off after a week because the airbrush paint is water soluble. Craft paint was the same way. And so when gel top coat came out, boy, that made a difference because that made things last. So a lot of the things that we had before, foiling, stamping, all these things that we couldn't get it to last the couple weeks, now lasts the 3, 4, whatever weeks, that our clients go. And so it's able to bring a lot of the other mediums in that we've tried before, it didn't really work, maybe even got a little bit of a negative tone out there. Yesterday I did a live and I was talking about that when stamping first came out, it was like a credit card machine. And it had the same etched little plates, and you put the paint on there and you credit card swiped it across and the person's fingers in this machine, and it came back over and it flipped the plate or the stamping thing over and stamped on. Now you couldn't see where you were stamping. It didn't ever do the whole image. So stamping for years, I was like, don't stamp, don't stamp, don't. Okay, I didn't stay up with technology for a while on stamping because I was so close-minded to it, because I was like, no, I'm a hand nail art tech. I'm just going to do it by hand. It's a lot easier. Well, then I realized technology changed. The stamping's a lot better. The plates are better. The paint is better. Now it's endless. It's fun. And so when we get close-minded to something that we tried in the past, try it again, play around.
And this
So,
is what's happening. Like, many products are being renovated.
ah, Anna.
Me airbrush, and we didn't use so much. And then recently, when I went to China a few years ago, I saw on the show everybody was using this airbrush, but they were like small and modern. And I was like, wow, look at that, how it's changed in 15 years. The airbrush that I had was a big machine and noisy with a motor, and oh my God. And then I saw this in China. I don't know if they were Japanese or because they were all.
Oh no, I saw that it froze, but now she's gone. So Anna, the link that I sent you earlier, if you re-click on that, it should bring you back in. So I'm not sure what happened. And I loved hearing what you had to say. So please come back and join. Meanwhile, I'm going to go through and I'm just going to say hi, Carmel and Jane and Andrea and Holly and Vanessa and Jess and Deb and Barbara. All you guys, thank you so much for joining in today. We'll just give it a little bit until Anna can join us back, because I want to talk more about her online courses, and that she's going to be on her website. I checked it out earlier. She has a schedule, and I want to find out what it takes to get her into our local areas. If we can add to her schedule while she's traveling from LA to Florida, if she can do
I
that.
checked it out earlier.
Hi.
Oh, okay. What it takes to get Sorry, I was trying. I was trying to understand how I can connect. Okay,
No
I think we
problem.
got lost.
Okay. So I apologize.
Okay, sorry.
No worries at all. Hey, that's just what it is when you're live. You never know what you're going to deal with.
Connection dropped. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we were talking about, bringing old trends and stuff
Right.
new again. You want to continue on with what you're
Oh,
saying?
I was just saying about the stamping that when the stamping came out, I was like a little bit disappointed. I was like, wow, really, people will be now using the stamping things, and what about the real art, real painting, hand painting? So I was like, I would never use that. But then when I saw what you can actually do, when I saw East European nail artists, how they connect, how they introduce the stamping into hand painting. I was like, wow, that's amazing. So I started doing that too. So yeah, practically now I believe that there is nothing that, is bad in the nail art. It just depends how we connect it all together, how we use that. So
Yeah.
it's fun. That's fun.
And making sure, as we always have to disclaim, make sure that you're using the products that are true to the industry. You're doing proper cure times. You can experiment. I encourage people to experiment, but make sure that you're still following through with
Yeah.
the products, especially gel, the cure time and stuff on the gels, because that is where you can run into some problems. So speaking of products, you're an educator for Charisma now.
Yes.
And so how did you get started with Charisma?
Well, with charisma, I started because as I told you, when we spoke with Lisa about maybe me moving here to US, um, this is when we said, okay, so if you want to come here, you work with me, so with Lisa, and Lisa's line is charisma. So when I moved here, I automatically started working with charisma.
Yeah. And so did she put you through her specialized training and say, now you're an educator?
Well,
Your time here for you to shine?
well, she knew already how I work because of the trainings from before, and she really believed in me. I'm so grateful for having her met her and having her in my life. That's amazing person. It's amazing friend, first of all. So I'm so lucky to have like the best boss in the world, her and her husband. So we are very much friends. And yes, we met. She showed me how um, how charisma works and a little training, but then she left me very much to my intuition, to my taste, and I'm so happy that I can create my courses and I can play with products in my way. So this is what I didn't have. I mean, I had it a little bit in the previous company I was working for, because I was the how you can call it, director of education for that other company. So I had all my nail technicians under me, but still everything was more organized by that other company. I had a little bit more limit, while here it's like so much more. I feel freedom, and I can do and move how I want. And so yeah, that's it, I think.
When you speak about it, you shine. You can tell that you have passion not only for the company, but for what you're doing. And it shows through in your work and all of that as well. We do have a few questions on here. Carmel wanted to know if you offer one stroke painting.
I was doing that. I think I will go back to it. I think I stopped a little bit. I mean, for a few years now, because so many other techniques I was having fun with. And one stroke we've been doing for so many years when I was living in Italy, and I was teaching it a lot. So I think I, for a while, got a little bit not tired, but I found other techniques interesting. But now I was looking into it back, and I think I will start teaching it again because it's been a while. It's a fun technique as well. It's a little bit more difficult. I always say, like, I find one stroke is one of the most difficult ones to learn, but I think I will start again.
Yeah, I've had some people go, Amy, will you show a run stroke? And I'm like, yeah. I'm honest about what I feel that I can try or whatnot. And I've tried run stroke many times. I have many brushes for it, the perfect paint. It's not my specialty. And
Yeah,
that's okay. And we can take all the courses we want. And if it still becomes one of those frustrations, there's so many options out there. You don't have to master that for
I
the one client that might want it. But when you do, oh my gosh, the work is phenomenal.
it's beautiful and it's fast. Once you know the technique, it can be really fast to create the flower. But the secret is, in fact, to get a good paint and have a good brush, and then a lot of patience to practice. Because I remember when we,
That's what I'm missing.
oh my God, yeah, it's so important. Because I remember when we were learning for the first time with my team, one stroke, we had terrible paints, we had terrible brushes because one stroke wasn't famous then yet. So we didn't know what to use. The teacher just that came from Ukraine just told us, okay, you have to have acrylic brushes, acrylic paints, and flat brush. Okay, so we brought what we have, but it was terrible. So when we were first learning, it was disaster. We were so desperate, and it took me so much strength and patience to not surrender. And I was seeing results with weeks that were passing. But first of all, it's a good product to have, and then the life is so much easier. So today you have such a, so many products, so many paints and brushes that it's so much easier, definitely.
Yeah. So people ask me this a lot. They're like, okay, Amy, if I had to invest in one product with that line, what's the one product they should get?
One product. Oh,
I
well,
know. One tool, what's your favorite paint? What's the one that it's in your back pocket everywhere you go?
well, I can't live without gel paints. I'm obsessed with gel paints.
Yeah.
So this is my product that I must have. Um, yeah, gel paints.
And so with the gel paints, you're going to need a brush. So what brush would you recommend that they start with
Well,
for, let's just say common art with the gel paint?
well, I for many, many months now, I'm using like a small oval brush. It looks like a cat tongue, I call it. And it's number two brush. And I practically with this brush and the thin brush, I do most of my decorations. So it's, yeah, my gel paints, two brushes, and that's it. I can go.
And don't you get we get so attached to our brushes, so attached to our brushes that if something happened to that brush, one hair seems to go awry and we're like, oh no. So you can always tell your favorite ones, there's a backup. It's brand new, it's waiting in case you need it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, brushes are like I call it the extension of the hand. If you have a wrong brush, then it's just sometimes some people go desperate and they say, "Oh my God, I can't do it," but they're just wrong with the wrong tool, and having the right tools just can change everything.
Yeah, so true. So a comment on here is a little bit off topic. So Deb is on here and she's saying that she's not able to see some of the comments and stuff like that. So Deb, there's two ways that I go live. If the person can use, my special guest uses their cell phone, we use the go live and it's used on our cell phones and you can see the comments and who's posting because that's actually going live within the group. What we're doing today is connected through our computers. And so on the computers, because it makes a shareable link, it's against the rules of Facebook and actually all social medias that it cannot share the guests' names. And so therefore, if you're viewing it from your computer versus your cell phone, you'll be able to see who's commenting or whatnot. So it might make a difference on what you're viewing it from. And so, for instance, on my computer, it doesn't tell me who's watching, even though I'm the host of this. But on my cell phone, I can see all the comments and stuff like that. And so you might want to switch over what you're using for that. Viewing it from.
Oh
And
my
so,
God,
for
sorry.
instance,
I was trying to see comments, but then it turns off the video. Sorry about that.
yeah, hey, no problem at all. Carmel would love to learn the one stroke. And so with that, you have a website that talks about your courses and upcoming and signups and stuff like that. So in the comments, we'll get all of Anna's, oh my gosh, all your social media tags to be able to get into you.
Awesome, thank you.
Wonderful. Um, And Chatteron. Okay, so if you guys have any questions for Anna, anything about art, anything about courses, then ask away. We have her attention here for about another 15 minutes or so. But so I see on your schedule that you're going from LA, where you are, Texas, Florida, all these places. And is there any way to get you to stop in between? Are you driving by car where we can say, will you please come here? How can people host you in their salon or in their area?
Oh, that's very easy because I travel practically everywhere in US where there is a group that is interested to have a course with me. And if someone has a salon or maybe they have, some people have like a little school or academy where they do already courses, or very often, like now I was oh my God, I already forgot where I was. When I go, sometimes I have like a block in my mind. I don't remember where I was. Sometimes I just go to people that have a salon and they have enough space to host a group of 10 or 12 people maximum. I don't do more than 12. normally, and that's it. Then I have a projector if needed. If not, someone sometimes have a TV, so we can hook up my camera to that. So it's just easy. It's just people and space, and that's it.
Yeah. So you recommend that they just kind of message you through Facebook
Yeah.
or should they email you? What's the best way to get a hold of you to see how they can connect with you?
I think Messenger is the best way. Sometimes I might in confusion forget to answer if I do, because sometimes messages are coming and I just get lost.
Yes,
So
yes.
if it happens that I don't answer, please write me again, and I already apologize for that.
Yeah. It's so true though, because well, I travel a lot as well, and I prefer Messenger just like you. And we think we see it, or we're already open and we're in it and we're scrolling. Somebody like I was just talking about this yesterday. Somebody I was messaging them to congratulate them that I saw their post in a Nails magazine that is coming out for November.
Mhm.
And I realized that in August they had sent me a message and I never responded to it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, send that to me again if you ever do that. Because sometimes we don't, I swear to you, it just scrolls past. It's not even that I read it. And so I felt really bad. So I'm the same way. Message me again, get a hold of me. Yeah, absolutely. That's wonderful. That makes it so much more personalized as well. Sometimes when we send it to an email, you just never know.
Exactly. I think that it's much more connection between the people that we speak with, and it's just more direct. And sometimes from email it just takes sometimes 3 days that we exchange the information. So I think it's just easier.
Yeah, I do too. Plus, isn't it easy to access? I love my messenger.
Me.
So Rebecca says, hi, Anna, you're the best. And at your work, hopefully one day I'll be able to take a course from you or a class from you. So Rebecca, I just gave you directions. All you have to do is either message her or get on her website, which her website is nail art and it's ANIA
Yeah.
dot com. And the courses are on there. It's a very easy website. So did you have to set up your website as well? Have you been hands-on for everything?
Yeah, I had to learn how to make my website, and that was quite interesting experience. So I'm so happy that I managed to do it by my own, and I try to update it as much as possible.
Mhm.
So I try to put always all information about courses that are coming on there. So I just think it's just easier. Before I was using a Facebook page, doing events there, but I think just website is so much better, so much direct.
Yeah, it's easy to find all the details in there.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
So isn't it funny? So here you are, this artist, and from, like you said, 15 years ago, you thought you were just there. Would you ever imagined even 5 years ago that you would be where you are today?
And not really. I would never think of moving to US, first of all, before I met my boyfriend. I was at the time traveling all the Europe for all those years that I was working with the other company in Italy. I was international educator, so I was traveling all the Europe, all the countries around, and sometimes I even went out of Europe. I went to India, to Mumbai, and somewhere else. So I was always a traveler. And when I was moving here to US, I said, no, I don't want to travel anymore. I won't be traveling so much. But then it somehow happened that I did. And I love it. I was missing that. I just, airport is my second home. Hotels are my second home. So I'm a traveler.
It's just naturally there. And so that was looking back 5 years. So now looking forward 5 years. Do you still have other goals that you want to do? Or do you just want to keep writing this and see where it takes you?
Well, I never do plans. This is about me. I never in my life did plans because I think that if you plan, then if it doesn't happen, you're disappointed and you never know. So I just go with the wave. What happens, happens. I love what I'm doing for now. I know that one day I will get tired probably of making life like that. But I don't think that I'm type of a person that could sit in the same place. And because of my dad, he's artist as well, and we are both a little bit like free spirits. He's a painter as well. This may be like some people sometimes ask me like, oh, but how do you started painting? Because I think it's my family. It's something in my genes. My dad is painting. My grandfathers from both sides were painting as well. So I've been more artistic since I was small. Since I was small, I was always doing small little figures and drawings and everything like that. While my mom is an office worker, so it's like we just totally different. And so I don't know what I will be doing in 5 years, but I think what my dream would be is to have like with Lisa an academy, so people can come to us and maybe travel maybe one time a month to places where people to visit people that can't come to us. So this is what I would like to have. Yes, like an
Yeah.
academy with Lisa. Yeah.
I could see you doing that. So you could still have the freedom to travel. You could still schedule out the academy to be open for courses and but still be kind of home based. That's yeah,
Yeah.
and then people would travel internationally to come see you instead.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love your vision of where you're going. You are very inspirational. I can see why everybody was like, please, please, please get her on your show. And so, even though we know that, we've been on for almost an hour now talking, this goes cycling through on replay. And so, as people make comments, tag Anna in your comments so that she can answer any questions that you may have and stuff like that. Or you guys know that you can always tag me as well. It's so fun. I love meeting people internationally like this where we can pull together. Let's see, what else do we want to talk about? Um, okay, so back to like the competition side of it. If
Mhm.
you could see, do you do more of like the shapes, the structures and stuff, or would you rather get into like the fantasy nail art and do that? What's your favorite part about the competitions?
Always since beginning has been structure. I never, it's funny because I love nail art and I teach nail art all the time. Why for the competition? I love the structure. I love the traditional acrylic French sculpture. And I never participated in the nail art competition, like nail fantasy on the ones on the tip.
Yeah.
I just, for me, competition is acrylic sculpture. In Europe, when I was participating in London, I was doing also gel, but acrylic is my real love. So also stiletto. I loved stiletto. I was participating in stiletto and I won some trophies there. But when you ask me for my favorite, acrylic,
Yeah.
French.
It shocks me that you haven't done anything in the art side because that's definitely what we see that you're known for.
I think because I know from people that have been participating in those competitions, I know how many weeks, how many hours it takes to create something really, really good for the competition. And for how patient I am, I don't know if I would manage to spend weeks for one.
I know right now, behind the scenes, two of our admin from TikTok, so Karen and Layla, are both doing their box sets. And so the hours that they spend doing these fantasy nails and stuff like that. Earlier you mentioned that you need patience as part of one of your qualities. I don't know. I've tried one. Nailchemy had a little thing, a set of 10 tips. It could be flat or 3D or whatnot. And it was my first time trying anything like that. I didn't even know how to attach tips to each other. And that was stressful. I couldn't imagine being in a big competition setting and doing that. And so you're right. And you know what? Another thing we will know, if you don't have the shape and the structure, you can do all the art you want. The nails aren't going to last. They're not going to be their best. And so those foundations are so important.
Yes, and because you can have the most beautiful nail art, but when it's done on the not attractive, not correctly made nail, it just doesn't look the same. And I always say you can have the most simple nail art, but with a perfect structure, and it will always look amazing. So the structure is the fundament, and anyway, the acrylic sculpture French acrylic sculpture competition, I find it's always the most prestigious one to win
Mhm.
of all the nail art ones. But it's not that because of that I participated in it. It's just that I really love it. And for example, my brother also does this job, and he also by accident entered into this world because he's living in Poland, and he was for the third year leaving the university that he decided that he doesn't like. In Poland, university is free, so you can go in as much as you want. But so he was for the first time quitting another type of university, and I was coming for a month to visit my family, and I told him like, oh, maybe let's try. Maybe you want to try to do the nail. So I showed him a traditional French sculpted nail with acrylic. And from the first time he did it, it was amazing. I was like, wow, you're working better than people that I know that work from years. So he got, interested into this and passionate. And after 8 months of practicing on his friends, and he started getting some clients, he went to his first competition as well, and he won the first place. That was wow, that's amazing. So we were always dreaming, oh my God, it was so awesome to stand on the same podium together.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Yeah.
That's it. Wait till I show my brother this. Yeah. He's an RN, and I'm going to be like, nope, not anymore. You're going to be a nail tech with me.
You never know. Like people, and his friends were laughing from. He was saying, "Oh, you make a woman job. Oh, they were laughing from him that it's not man job."
Mm.
And only when he started winning competitions, like, oh, okay, okay, they started bringing him their girlfriends to make their nails, and they started respecting him.
Yeah.
That it's not,
I've
something.
interviewed quite a few men in the industry, and I always ask them, that kind of question. And they're like, one, we're not dumb. One of them told me that how else was I going to meet a woman? I could pamper her and I could do her nails. I meet women all day long. And he goes, and then hear their stories and understand how to understand women. And he goes, and truthfully, when he got into it, he really was comparing it to oil field. He thought he was going to make $45 an hour, staying inside, doing nails, controlling his hours
Hmm.
compared to oil field. And he goes, the reality is it was not $45 an hour. We don't really get to control our hours. However, it was still, he could make more. And then when he started competing and getting more up into the industry as well, he really was making more than $45 an hour, and he was making more than his friends in the oil field. And so when you stop and look at the business side, and that if you enjoy what you're doing, doesn't the money just come naturally anyways? And it's fun.
Exactly. I think we are so lucky that we do what we love.
Yeah,
That's amazing. Yeah. And this is what my
absolutely.
brother also was very often laughing, like he is a man doing sometimes beautiful women's nails, like that's very enjoyable for them. So, and you can meet a lot of people, so yeah, that's
You
fun.
know, there is a part in there where men do get, for some reason in the industry, whether they're hairdressers or whatnot, they get to charge more than the women do. And the women, because they know the women will pay it. We want to be pampered like that. And if we can be pampered from a nice looking, clean man, yeah.
And men, I think that gets more interest from women also as educator and the nail artist, because it's just one of few
Mhm.
and is more visible. So I think it's easier for them sometimes. If they're good, I think they have more visibility.
Yeah. But likewise, any of us that are doing what we're passionate about and we know how to share that, it doesn't matter who you are, what age you are, how many years you've been in the industry, or even if you're a newbie, go for it and try it because you never know. And so if you have the passion, want to step out and be an educator, we've talked many times that sometimes you can, like earlier, I was watching Young Nails was doing a live, that they do. I love watching their lives. And somebody wanted to know how they can be a mentor with Young Nails. And they were like, email us. Tell us about you, email us, and sometimes you can get on their websites and it says, do you want to join our team? Here's, the courses. Like Elegance has like a bachelor's and master's little program that you can go through. They don't cost that much. And then they bring you on board, when they believe in you. So just figure it out. If you're wanting to be with a company, contact the company. If you're wanting to be independent, find out what your specialty is. And then from there, create a course, get yourself your outline, take a couple courses on being an educator. Because, thank goodness that when I started this, I call it sharing my nerdy nail knowledge, but I have lots of friends that are teachers and work at the college, and even my husband and stuff. And so I've had to reach out for them and say, I need to even know how to do this because I want to be professional about it. And so reach out and put your group together, your team together to help build you. And it's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it is. And um, I think to be a good educator is just, to want to share your knowledge and not keep your secret. Because, like, for example, in Europe, I've heard a lot about educators that they were teaching the course, but they were saying, "Oh, I can't tell you that," or "I can't tell you that." Like they didn't want to say everything. So it's like, wow, that's not how it's supposed to be.
Yes, exactly. And with the companies, they want you to use their product. And so if you go directly to a company and an educator for a company, they are going to give you everything because they want to see you successful and using their product. And so I find that if you go direct and you find quality educators, they really will share everything. But you're right, some of those, I find it more in the competition side. They don't want to share you like the secret of, I don't know, buffing with acetone or, something like years ago, it was something like that. Yeah, so there's always something that they want to hold back. But that's because they're in the competition side of it. But if you're finding an educator, they're there to educate and to help you so that you can compete more and all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. How fun. So this weekend, you're getting ready to leave because you're going to
Yeah.
Massachusetts for the nail expo there. I know I talked with Dana Lynn yesterday, and there's 2 days of education tied into that, and that's amazing, let alone the show.
Yes, there are Saturday. The education is on Saturday and Monday. We will be teaching on Monday afternoon because we sign up like in the last moment, unfortunately. So we will be teaching on Monday afternoon, and on Sunday all the day we'll be in the show with everyone else. Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. And then what's next? Are you off for the rest of the year?
No, no, I have a lot of travels, and so the only thing is that there are holidays in between, so there's like a little bit blocks some of the weeks. But no, next time, next course I have in Los Angeles. Then I'm traveling, I think, to Massachusetts again.
Huh.
Yes, Massachusetts again to South Dartmouth. Oh my goodness, I don't know how to pronounce it well. Sorry. And I have 3 days there, and then I'm going to Texas, to Austin, and Seattle. I hope where I'm guess I'm going. Then Los Angeles also in between. So it's like a bit of travels around.
So
Yeah.
I went to Hobby Lobby a few weeks ago with my daughter, and there's a map there that it's beautiful. It's done in rose gold, and it's a map of the United States, and it's just very basic. It's beautiful. It might be time to get a map and start marking everywhere you've been. You can have a world map, and then go, okay, well, next I'm going to, and then do that. Is there a state that you really have always wanted to go to that you wish that somebody would say host a class here?
I think Florida, but I've been there. I haven't hosted the class in Miami, but I would like to. Other than that, I think I was quite everywhere.
Because
Uh,
I'm in Wyoming. People don't tend to know much about Wyoming, or if they do, they're like, oh, I flew over that state once. And so I might just have to figure out something and bring you to our grand state of Wyoming.
okay. Yeah, I haven't been in Wyoming yet. Yes.
Yeah. I think people mostly try to avoid it. It's long, long travel to get from town to town. And there's only two major airports that are still small airports. So you pretty much have to go into Denver to be able to hit a major airport. So it does cost more to come into here. So
Uh,
that's really why we don't get a lot of the education based here. But yeah.
well, we'll see. Maybe we'll manage one day.
Yeah, maybe so. Well, Anna, I can't thank you enough for spending your morning with us and just sharing your heart and your passion, your fun stories. Maybe we should bring your brother on as a guest as well and just, hear from his side about being inspired by you to get into the industry as well.
Well, it'll be fun. If for now he's working simply in the salon. He he went back from being more an educator to a salon, so now he's leading a more traditional, calm life again. Because for a while I sent him to Italy to work on my place when I was leaving, but he didn't resist well there. So after 1 year and a half, he said, "No, no, I go Poland to Poland."
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. You know, that's the great thing too, is that sometimes we have to transfer our license, whether it's from state to state or figure out how you can do that. But we have a license that's somewhat universal. We can practice anywhere, and that is so much fun. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Well, again, Anna, I thank you for your time today and for all of your knowledge. And I thank you, Kim. I have to give, accolades to Kim. She was the first one that mentioned your name to me and said you have to get her on Tech Talk. And so hopefully on replay, Kim can be able to join in and be as excited as I was to be able to meet you. So I thank you guys all for your time. Thanks for the questions. If you have any additional questions and you're watching this on replay, ask them so that we can get you in touch. And then meanwhile, we'll get all of Anna's oh my gosh, all your information and stuff in the comments so that you guys can click away and come join her courses as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It was very nice to spend morning with you.
Oh, good. All right. Well, you guys have a great day. We'll catch you on our next episode of Tech Talk Live.